Hi guys, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. Now this figure came out a little time ago, however with the new game Rise of the Dark Spark coming out, which involves some of the new film and also events that would have happened between the first two of these games, so that's War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, this Optimus does feature in that game, so I think it's very clever what they've done. Because obviously everyone's anticipating the next one in this wave of games, and also everyone's going to go and buy the movie game. When they brought out Dark of the Moon, it had like the sort of same video game aesthetics. You know, it was running the same engine as Fall of Cybertron, so it had the same feel and the same sound effects and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's a really awesome way to sort of generalize a franchise and bring it all together. And I think that it's a very good idea as a money standpoint for figures, because obviously they don't have to make more figures. They've already got all these figures on the shelves still sitting there, so it's a great way to get more people to go ahead and buy these guys. So, what a better time to review this thing. So if you haven't already got this guy, hopefully this review will either persuade you to buy it or push you away from it and help you make a decision. So, first of all, packaging, it looks pretty damn nice. I'm just going to bring the camera up a little bit here so you can see the top right there. Very nice picture of Optimus Prime. Already you can see the amount of detail that this one is lacking, but we'll go into that a little later on. So we're going to bring it closer here and take a look at the back. At the bottom here we have a nice sort of tech spec area, just like the G1 figures. We got ion cannon included and Cybertronian truck mode, and then over here we have this little bio. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause that now. I really do like the look of the back of this packaging, very very cool. As you can see, this was the first figure in the first series, and we have those two, so I'm going to have the links to these two in the description of this video. This one is already up and this will be the next video. So here is Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode, and it does look very very good and pretty game accurate, I must say. So the ion cannon can sit right up here. You plug it in that peg, and if you flip it around, as you can see, it has a very good sort of G1 reminiscence about it there. Looks pretty cool. It's nothing too fantastic, but at least he comes with a gun, and yeah, I like it. It's pretty nice. So at the back of the vehicle is where we're going to start, and here is Gap City. It doesn't look too fantastic. You'd like maybe brake lights to be painted over here or have some nice detail over here, because in the game this had very big like sort of red bars right there, but it's not too bad, and from every other angle it looks absolutely fantastic. And for the amount of knee articulation that this guy receives as a result of this, I don't mind that at all. We have some nice silver right there, the feet folded up here. Some nice detail right in here. I'm going to bring that in close. Absolutely epic game accurate detail right there. Love the smokestacks. Very nice that the hands sort of represent the gas tank. Very nice wheels. On the Takara version I think you get like the nice pink sort of lights going through there, and you get nice pink lights going through all of these sort of dull areas too. And we get some nice shiny Autobot logos on the top, and as you can see, pretty damn nice moulded in detail too. So as a size comparison, this is a deluxe figure, and here is the deluxe Bumblebee from Age of Extinction, the new film, and this is considered a small deluxe. Like, people keep saying that deluxes are getting a bit smaller. And so yeah, that kind of shows just how small and stumpy this guy is in vehicle mode, even though considering he is a truck. I'm just going to show you quickly with the Age of Extinction Optimus 2, just so you can get an idea of that. So it's a little bit more in scale, but it's kind of off a bit. This is a Voyager, but essentially it's in scale with deluxe vehicles when it is in vehicle mode. So I really do like this. I just do wish that this particular figure was a Voyager, so that it stood a bit taller, really. I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic and everything, but making deluxes smaller isn't such a bad thing when they get bigger in robot mode, just like this guy does. However, being a truck, he is very out of scale with a lot of things. But it's something that you can skip past, and a lot of people don't like it for that reason, because of its size, but I really do like it. So we're going to get into transformation right here. So first thing we're going to do is just sort out the legs. So it's pegged in right under here, so all you want to do is just pull it down and disconnect it. So what that's going to do is bring this piece down here, keep on pulling, and that is now the waist piece. We're going to flip these out like so, and they're the knees, and you can go ahead and disconnect these legs right here, and then you can pull the feet down and just push them underneath, and that there is the legs complete. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move up to the top here, disconnect these pieces. They just tab into one another. They don't actually tab into this, they just tab into one another. And then you can pull out these individual arm pieces right here too, and they tab in here, and you want to just turn them around and get them out of the way like so. Just turn them around and they'll just sit against the arm like that. At this point you can fold out the arms, turn them around, turn the hands around as well, same with the other side, turn that round, turn the hands around, and then you can bring them up, and then we're going to turn this thing around and get some more focus in here, and basically you're going to just push on this grey bit, which is going to move the arms because they're connected in here on the hinge, and it's going to push the head up too, and this piece is going to flip back and clip into position, which is going to hold all of that together. Bring the arms down again. We're going to flip in these smokestacks. If you have the Ultra Magnus version of this, then you leave the smokestacks up. And basically there is Fall of Cybertron, Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And here we are now in robot mode, and as you can see he does get significantly taller when he opens up into robot mode, and he now stands nearly the size of a generic deluxe figure, but not quite. And basically he loses a lot of the bulk and whatnot from the first figure. Now partly that is because the first figure had a lot of kibble and whatnot in the back. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but you know, has more kibble in the backpack and whatnot. This figure is extremely clean, so I would say that's a massive plus point for this one. The weapon, it isn't as great as the first one. Detail, the first one did have these kind of light red, sort of pinkish aspects to it, which is really what this guy needs, and the Takara version does actually have that. So it has more of this sort of metallic silvery kind of paint that you see here on the wheels and the Autobot logos and whatnot, and then it has these light red pink details over here in the grille and whatnot, and through some of these lines like on these windows right here and things like that. But for the most part the Takara version is, you know, it's varied in price really, depending on where you get them from, but generally they are a fair amount more expensive than the Hasbro versions, and if they're a massive improvement then I'd say go for it, you know, and if you like that version more then go for it. But personally I think that this version is a very good Optimus Prime, and I just think that paying a little bit extra just to get a few more, like, you know, pinkish lines in there and stuff, maybe a bit more metallic paint, not too sure if it's worth it. I think it looks incredible on the Ultra Magnus. He really stands out, but I also think that the normal Ultra Magnus is a good figure too, and I would say that that is a better figure out of the two, because you do get the sword with that one and stuff, and I just think it looks nicer as Ultra Magnus. But this is the one from the game, so this is the one that I have picked up. So there's your comparison with that Optimus, and there he is with Shockwave. So as you can see, pretty much exactly the same size. Shockwave is bigger if you include the wings on the back there, but they work in pretty damn good scale to one another. So although these deluxes are smaller, and yes, that is a downside, and we have seen in Generations recently they've started to get a bit bigger again, I definitely do think that as they work in good scale with one another, as a specific toy line, as just the War for Cybertron stuff and the Fall of Cybertron stuff, they may not work in conjunction too great, but just as Fall of Cybertron, they're absolutely perfect. But just as standalone figures, just for the Fall of Cybertron side of things, I think that they really are fantastic together. So we're going to just take a quick look at close-up detail, and then we'll go over articulation here. So the face, I think, really does look absolutely fantastic. Just going to straighten things up for you here. absolutely phenomenal. The moulding is great. It does not have light piping, meaning you do get just a full blue head, which is nice, because with a head this small you wouldn't get great light piping anyway, so I'm glad they didn't try and do it. You get nice light blue eyes, gunmetal paint in there, which I wish was further throughout the figure, but never mind. Nice shiny Autobot symbols, bit of silver up there. And then we got this grill over here, and then the thighs and waist and hands, they're all this kind of dull grey plastic. It doesn't look too bad really, although some detail in there would have been nice, but on a figure this small, I know on camera it might look like, oh, there's not really much paint detail in there. On a figure this small, honestly, it looks great in person. You do get very nice silver up here on the arms, and down here you get some gunmetal through the legs there, which looks pretty nice. The blue is really striking. The blue really does stand out a lot more than the War for Cybertron version. A little lighter, and you can see it really sort of shining away there on camera. I really do love that colour. If we come to the back here, you can see that there's still a lot of moulded detail going around this thing. Very, very nice. And here, I mean, this is basically what you saw in vehicle mode still. But we do have moulded in tyres there. Would have been nice if they were painted black, but then again, if they were painted black you'd see them in vehicle mode, so you know, I'm okay with that. But obviously that's where these tyres should be, but due to constraints obviously they couldn't make them do that. The smokestacks there look really, really awesome. So yeah, I think overall as a figure this thing is very, very nice. So articulation wise, head's on a ball joint, so it looks all the way up, absolutely phenomenal. And then you've got down a little bit, left and right. Now this section is connected to the arms as you saw in the transformation, so if you pull this down a little bit more, this flap that you plug in, if you push that down and bring the head up a little bit more, it sits up nice, but it doesn't clip in, so as you can see it can kind of droop down depending on how you have the weight of the arms positioned, but it doesn't look too bad with just a little bit of a gap there. But there's nothing as far as I can see that will actually keep that upright, but once it is up there, obviously I guess you can call that a little bit of articulation in the neck, but you know, I can't say that's a constraint to the figure because it doesn't look that bad, although it would be nice if I could keep it up there. But moving on anyway, we do have waist articulation, and I guess it has kind of a crunch due to transformation. I also wish that this clipped in. It stays there fine, I can wobble it and it stays in the right position, but if I start moving it around I might accidentally try and move the arms, and as you can see it's quite stiff, so it can bring that down with it. So I just wish that this actually clipped in properly, and it's because it's just on a ball joint, and I just really do wish that it clipped in, but it doesn't, so it's kind of annoying. But again, like the head, annoying but not enough to make me think anything bad of it, because it stays there perfectly fine. And then coming over to the arms, we have in and out, which is fantastic, full 360, and then we have elbow joint here, which works extremely nicely, and that is why I am not complaining about this little gap in the arm. I don't really think it looks very big at all with how small the figure is anyway, so I'm fine with that. As you can see, it has a swivel up there, and the hands swivel full 360 degrees. Legs go forward and back all the way, come out all the way for splits. They swivel also a little bit at that ball joint, but then also swivel at the thigh. Amazing knee articulation. You can send his leg all the way back. That's why I say I don't really mind that cavity like that when you're in vehicle mode, because you can get all that articulation. That's fantastic. Feet are on ball joints down here, so up, down, left, right, and then a little bit of ankle pivot too, which is quite nice. And if you have anything to peg them onto, I guess you can say that he actually has some pegs there. So a very nice figure overall, and I must say that for how cheap this thing is these days, and just how much moulded in detail is in there, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. The transformation is engaging, yet it's also quite simple, and it's a lot more simple than the War for Cybertron version. which means that obviously for kids it's going to be easier to transform, and if you're going to play with it, it means that you can just quickly change it and away you go in vehicle mode, and then change it again, away you go in robot mode. It's really, really simple. So there's not going to be anything making you think, oh, I don't want to play with Optimus today because I can't be asked to transform it. So that's always a good point, because I remember as being a kid I always used to play with the ones that were more simple. I mean, I used to like a really nice transformation, but the ones that I could transform quicker were tended to be, the ones that I play with the most. And that's always good. Paint apps, really, really very nice. If you want even better paint apps, I'd say go with the Takara one. If you don't want to pay the extra money, this one is perfectly fine. Articulation is incredible. It's Optimus Prime, so you need him if you want to collect your Autobots for Fall of Cybertron, and he features in the new game, so all the more reason to pick this figure up. So I would definitely recommend it, and I'd also recommend the entire line, because I really do love these games. So thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more Transformers reviews, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Tell me in the description which one you like more, this guy or the War for Cybertron version that I also showed in this video. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check that one out in more detail. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, that would be awesome of you. The links will be on the homepage on my channel. I basically post pictures of new things that I've got in my collection and things that are going to be upcoming in reviews. So thanks for watching, guys, again, and I will see you next time.